In the boundless, untamed wildernesses of our planet, a relentless drama unfolds with every passing moment. Here, beneath the open sky and among tangled forests, life is a constant contest, a struggle for survival that shapes every heartbeat and every breath. This story is etched not in words, but in the sharpness of claws, the glint of teeth, the curve of horns, and the thunder of hooves. Every feature is a testament to the evolutionary arms race between predator and prey. In this world, animal conflict is a matter of life and death. Each encounter is a high-stakes showdown, where the outcome determines not just a meal, but the very continuation of a bloodline. Animals do not fight out of malice or cruelty. Instead, every clash is driven by necessity, the need to secure food, defend territory, or protect the next generation. Herds of grazers defend lush meadows from rivals, while solitary hunters stalk the shadows, each seeking the resources that mean survival. During the breeding season, males display dazzling colors or engage in fierce battles, all for the chance to attract a mate and ensure their genes endure. Predators move with silent precision, their senses honed to detect the faintest movement. Prey, ever vigilant, scan the horizon, muscles tensed for flight or fight, ready to react in a split second. With every sunrise, the wilderness awakens to a new cycle of opportunity and danger. The air is thick with anticipation, as animals prepare for the daily trials that will test their strength, intelligence, and endurance. The diversity of these struggles is staggering. From the smallest insect to the largest mammal, every species faces its own unique challenges and adversaries. Some battles are thunderous collisions, massive herbivores like buffaloes or elephants locking horns in displays of raw power, the ground trembling beneath their weight. Others unfold as intricate strategies, packs of wolves or wild dogs working in perfect harmony, using coordinated tactics to outmaneuver prey many times their size. Many confrontations are ritualized, with animals posturing, displaying vibrant colors, or producing intimidating sounds. These displays often resolve disputes without bloodshed, as the risk of injury can mean certain death in the wild. Across the sun-scorched savannas of Africa, the dense rainforests of South America, and the frozen rivers of the Arctic, these struggles play out in every environment, each shaped by its own unique challenges and opportunities. Every animal is armed with specialized adaptations, thick armor, razor-sharp spines, or camouflaged skin, each a product of countless generations of survival. Some predators wield jaws capable of crushing bone, their bite force a lethal weapon honed for the kill. Others rely on speed and agility, darting away from danger or retreating into nearly impenetrable shells. Venomous creatures strike with precision, delivering toxins that can paralyze or kill in moments, while others wield stingers or secrete poisons as a last line of defense. Some prey animals possess astonishing strength, delivering kicks or blows powerful enough to break bones and deter even the most determined attacker. Intelligence and strategy are as vital as physical strength. Animals use deception, teamwork, and even tools to outwit their adversaries and tip the balance in their favor. Some lure their enemies into treacherous terrain, rocky outcrops, dense thickets, or deep water, where the advantage shifts in an instant. Others employ bluffs and feints, intimidating rivals with displays of size or aggression, often avoiding violence altogether. Every encounter is a delicate balance of risk and reward, where a single miscalculation can mean the difference between life and death. Observing these raw, unfiltered moments offers a window into the true nature of life in the wild, a world where survival is never guaranteed. We witness the fierce determination of a mother defending her vulnerable young, risking everything to ensure their safety. The ambition of challengers is on full display as they confront dominant rivals, each battle a turning point in the hierarchy of the wild. And sometimes, the most astonishing courage is found in the smallest creatures, prey that, when cornered, turn to face their hunters with unyielding resolve. These are not mindless brawls, but moments of profound consequence, where every decision and every movement can alter the fate of an individual, a family, or an entire species. The struggle for survival reveals the astonishing adaptations and behaviors that allow life to persist in the harshest environments, from the blistering heat of deserts to the icy grip of polar winters. By witnessing these epic confrontations, we gain a deeper understanding of the fundamental laws that govern the wild, a world where every day is a test and only the most resourceful, resilient, and adaptable will endure the eternal struggle for survival. In the tangled arteries of northern Australia's mangrove rivers, a world untouched by time unfolds. Here, the air is thick with humidity, and the water is stained brown by silt and decaying leaves, a perfect camouflage for an ancient apex predator. The saltwater crocodile, or salty, is the undisputed sovereign of these waterways. Weighing over 1,000 kilograms and stretching up to 6 meters, this reptile is a living relic, perfectly adapted for both stealth and power. Each crocodile carves out a territory along the river, selecting stretches with optimal basking sites, deep pools for ambush, and overhanging branches that attract prey. These prime locations are fiercely guarded, for they are the key to survival and dominance. When a rival male encroaches, the atmosphere shifts, the water stills, and both crocodiles rise, bodies rigid, jaws agape in a silent display of threat. Their posturing is a language, one of size, strength, and intent. The resident male, often larger and scarred from past battles, patrols his domain relentlessly. He is not only defending his right to mate, but also the very resources that sustain him. Beneath the surface, the river is a labyrinth of submerged roots and logs. Here, crocodiles move with ghostly silence, using their sensitive pressure receptors to detect the faintest vibrations. An evolutionary advantage in both hunting and combat, the saltwater crocodile's body is a marvel of muscle and armor. Its tail, thick and powerful, can propel it in explosive bursts, while its scaly hide shields it from injury during violent clashes. The jaws are the ultimate weapon, capable of exerting over 3,500 pounds of pressure per square inch. When they snap shut, even the toughest prey stands little chance. In a territorial fight, a single bite can shatter bone or tear flesh, the sound echoing across the water like a warning to all who witness. Each tooth is conical and razor-sharp, designed not for chewing, but for gripping and holding. Up to 68 of these deadly spikes line the mouth, replaced throughout the crocodile's life as they wear down. Yet, brute force is only part of the equation. Saltwater crocodiles are cunning strategists. They use the river's currents, the cover of floating debris, and even the shifting tides to their advantage, approaching rivals with calculated patience. A dominant male will rise high in the water, inflating his throat and hissing, a display meant to intimidate and assert his claim. This ritualized behavior can sometimes avert violence, as the challenger weighs the risks. But when words fail, action follows. The dominant crocodile may suddenly crash his head down, sending a shockwave through the water, a prelude to the chaos that is about to erupt. The ensuing battle is a blur of thrashing tails, snapping jaws, and churning water. Each crocodile aims to wound, to exhaust, to force the other into submission. If the fight plunges beneath the surface, the advantage shifts to the resident, who knows every hidden channel and obstacle. Here, vision is limited, but touch and instinct guide every move. Navigating through submerged logs and tangled roots, the crocodiles use their tails as rudders, twisting and spinning with astonishing agility for their size. The infamous death roll is a signature move, grabbing a rival's limb or flank. The crocodile spins with ferocious speed, disorienting and injuring its opponent. The goal is not always to kill, but to inflict wounds severe enough to force a retreat. A torn leg or deep gash can mean the end of a challenger's reign before it even begins. For the vanquished, the consequences are dire. An injured crocodile, especially one missing a limb, faces a grim future, unable to hunt effectively or defend itself from future threats. The victor, meanwhile, reclaims his stretch of river, patrolling the banks and pools with renewed authority. His dominance is etched into the landscape, marked by scars and the absence of rivals. With his supremacy secured, the dominant male attracts females to his territory. Courtship is subtle. Gentle nudges, low-frequency bellows, and synchronized swimming, all performed in the shadowy shallows. The defeated challenger, battered and wary, slips away into the labyrinth of waterways, seeking refuge in less contested stretches, where food is scarce and danger ever-present. He may travel for days, navigating tidal estuaries and dense vegetation, always alert for other dominant males or lurking predators, hoping to find a territory of his own. In this world of shifting tides and silent battles, only the most cunning, resilient, and powerful crocodiles will rule. For the saltwater crocodile, every day is a test of strength, strategy, and survival, a relentless contest for the throne of the river. As dawn breaks over the endless savannas of Africa, a shadowy force stirs. A pack of African wild dogs, the continent's most relentless and strategic predators, begins its day. With their striking mottled coats of yellow, black and white, these canines are instantly recognizable. But beneath their colorful appearance lies a complex social structure and a level of cooperation unmatched in the animal kingdom. Packs can swell to 40 members, each individual bound by intricate social bonds. Every hunt, every defense, every moment of survival is orchestrated through a sophisticated web of communication, high-pitched twittering calls, body language, and even synchronized movements. Their hunting strategy is a masterclass in endurance and precision. Unlike solitary predators, wild dogs rely on relentless pursuit, using their stamina to exhaust prey over long distances. They fan out, anticipating the zigzags of fleeing antelope, cutting off escape routes with uncanny foresight. But the savannah is not just a hunting ground, it's a battlefield. When two unrelated packs cross paths, the air crackles with tension. These encounters are rare, but when they erupt, the stakes are nothing less than survival. Territorial clashes are swift and brutal. Packs move with military precision, using their numbers and speed to outmaneuver rivals. The objective is clear: defend the heart of their territory, the lifeline for their pups and future generations. In these moments, the true power of the pack is revealed. Teeth bared, they encircle intruders, their unity transforming them into a single, formidable entity. Their jaws, equipped with specialized shearing teeth and reinforced by powerful muscles, can crush bone and tear flesh with terrifying efficiency. No other canine on the plains can match their bite. Home advantage is everything. The resident pack knows every twist of the river, every thicket, every hidden den. They use the landscape as a weapon, luring rivals into ambushes or bottlenecking them in narrow gullies. There is no chaos here, only calculated, synchronized action. Each member knows their role, whether it's flanking, chasing, or cutting off escape. Invaders are quickly isolated. The defenders work as one, splitting the group and focusing their assault on the weakest or most vulnerable intruder, ensuring the odds are always in their favor. In one remarkable encounter, a trio of intruders slipped across a boundary, hoping to scout new territory. The home pack detected them almost instantly, their keen senses attuned to the faintest scent or sound. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The defenders split into two groups, one to scatter the intruders, the other to converge on the slowest, isolating it with relentless speed and coordination. Using a water hole as a natural barrier, they pinned the outnumbered rival, cutting off every escape route. The landscape itself became an ally in their campaign. The attack was surgical, targeting the head and neck, the most vulnerable points. Each bite was delivered with purpose, a testament to their lethal efficiency. This is the same strategy they use to bring down antelope or impala: isolate, overwhelm, and dispatch with ruthless precision. In warfare, as in hunting, unity is their greatest weapon. The aftermath is sobering. The defeated are left battered, limping away if they're lucky, their ranks broken and morale shattered. Survivors flee, often nursing deep wounds, forever marked by the encounter. The victors, meanwhile, reinforce their claim, patrolling the boundaries with renewed vigilance. For the home pack, victory means more than just territory. It means security for their young, access to vital waterholes, and the promise of future hunts. After the battle, the pack regroups, reaffirming bonds through grooming and play. These moments of peace are hard-won, a brief respite before the next challenge. Alone, a wild dog is exposed to danger from lions, hyenas, and even starvation. But together they are a force that shapes the very fabric of the savannah. In the harsh, unpredictable world of the African bush, the wild dog's greatest strength is its unity. Their wars are not just battles for land, they are battles for survival, for family, and for the future of the pack. As the golden light of late summer stretches across the vast grasslands of Yellowstone National Park, a profound transformation sweeps through the American bison herds. The air grows heavy with anticipation, and the landscape itself seems to pulse with the energy of the coming rut. These colossal creatures, the largest land mammals in North America, gather in dense herds, their movements stirring up clouds of dust that hang in the warm, late summer air. The rut, their annual breeding season, is about to begin, a time when the ordinary rhythms of grazing and migration are replaced by a primal contest for dominance and the right to sire the next generation. The bulls, driven by surging hormones, become restless and unpredictable. Their eyes flash with intensity, and their massive bodies radiate tension. Testosterone floods their systems, doubling their aggression and fueling a relentless urge to compete. Their necks thicken, muscles ripple beneath shaggy coats, and deep, resonant bellows roll across the plains, an unmistakable challenge to rivals and a signal to females that the strongest contenders have arrived. The atmosphere is charged with tension as bulls size each other up, circling and posturing, their every movement scrutinized by the herd. Each encounter is a test, not just of brute strength, but of nerve and strategy. When two evenly matched bulls meet, the ground trembles beneath their hooves. They lock horns in thunderous collisions, the sound echoing across the open prairie. Dust swirls around them as they push, twist, and heave, each striving to overpower the other. Every bull is a living fortress built for these epic confrontations. Their thick skulls and reinforced neck muscles absorb the shock of impact, while their sheer mass, sometimes exceeding a ton, gives them unstoppable momentum. Their horns, sharp and curved, are formidable weapons, but it is the combination of muscle, bone, and willpower that truly defines a champion. When a bull charges, the earth seems to shake. His 75-pound head, lowered like a battering ram, can deliver a blow with the force of a small vehicle, sending rivals reeling. In slow motion, the power and precision of these charges become even more apparent. Each muscle fiber working in concert, each step calculated for maximum impact. The massive shoulder hump, a signature feature of the bison, is a dense cluster of muscle and bone, perfectly evolved to drive and absorb the punishing forces of combat. Throughout the rut, bulls challenge one another in a series of escalating confrontations. They circle, feint, and test for weaknesses, each encounter a blend of raw power and tactical cunning. The most intense battles erupt in a flurry of dust and noise, head-on collisions, shoving matches, and sudden bursts of energy that can last for minutes or stretch into grueling hours. Yet these contests are not mindless brawls. Bulls employ strategy, using pauses to catch their breath, shifting their weight to gain leverage, and maneuvering for the perfect angle of attack. A dominant bull may seek the high ground, using gravity to add force to his charge, or position himself to block rivals from approaching receptive females. Charging downhill, he harnesses both his own strength and the slope of the land, turning the environment into an ally in the struggle for supremacy. In close quarters, a skilled bull may slip alongside his opponent, using his head and neck to lever the rival's front feet off the ground, a move that can unbalance even the strongest adversary. This moment of imbalance is critical, exposing the rival to a decisive push and demonstrating the victor's superior strength and technique. The defeated bull, recognizing his disadvantage, retreats, sometimes limping, sometimes bloodied, but always with the knowledge that the contest is over, at least for now. The aftermath of these battles is written in scars and wounds, torn fur, bleeding gashes, and the weary gait of those who have given their all. Exhausted bulls collapse onto the earth, sides heaving, their bodies caked in dust and sweat. The prairie is silent but for their labored breathing, a testament to the toll of the rut. As the weeks pass, the dominant bulls grow gaunt and battered, their reserves of fat and energy depleted by the relentless demands of combat and courtship. Many bear the marks of battle, ragged fur, open wounds, and the haunted look of those who have survived the crucible of the rut. Yet, for those who emerge victorious, there is a quiet triumph. Surrounded by females, the dominant bull stands tall, his battered frame a symbol of resilience and genetic fitness. He herds the cows, keeping rivals at bay, ensuring that his legacy will be carried forward in the calves born the following spring. The next generation, robust, alert calves, will inherit the strength, stamina, and instincts of their fathers, shaped by the crucible of the rut. The thunderous clashes, the tactical maneuvers, and the relentless drive for dominance are not just displays of power. They are the very engine of the bison's survival, ensuring that only the fittest genes endure. In the end, the rut crowns a single bull as the undisputed king of the plains, his victory echoing in the bellowing roars that announce his reign. But as dawn breaks over the prairie and the herds drift onward, the cycle of challenge and renewal continues, awaiting the return of the rut and the next chapter in the epic saga of the American bison. Deep within the tangled emerald heart of Asia's forests, a solitary tiger glides silently between shafts of filtered sunlight. Each step is measured, his massive paws barely disturbing the thick carpet of fallen leaves and moss beneath him. The air is heavy with the scent of damp earth, the distant calls of birds, and the ever-present tension of unseen rivals. This magnificent predator is the very definition of stealth and power. Unlike the social lions of the savannah, the tiger is a master of solitude, relying on his own cunning and strength to survive in a world where every shadow could conceal a threat or an opportunity. His territory is a sprawling, invisible kingdom, mapped out by scent marks left on ancient tree trunks and the deep scratches he carves into bark. These signals are warnings, declarations of ownership that ripple through the undergrowth, carried on the wind to any would-be challenger. When another male dares to cross these invisible borders, the forest itself seems to hold its breath. The two tigers lock eyes, their bodies tensed in a silent contest of will. Each movement is deliberate, a twitch of the tail, a low, guttural growl, the bristling of fur along the spine. The air crackles with the possibility of violence. A full-grown male tiger is a living engine of muscle and sinew, weighing over 500 pounds. His jaws can crush bone, and his forelimbs, armed with retractable claws as thick as a man's finger, are capable of felling prey with a single, devastating blow. Yet, for all his power, the tiger is acutely aware of the risks. A serious wound could mean the difference between life and death. In these forests, a limping tiger is a starving tiger, unable to stalk the wary deer or bring down the wild boar that sustain him. For this reason, most confrontations are resolved through ritual and display. The tigers circle each other, muscles rippling beneath striped pelts, each trying to out-intimidate the other. Their roars echo through the trees, a deep, resonant sound that proclaims their strength to all who listen. When a younger, less experienced intruder faces a dominant resident, the outcome is often decided before a single blow is struck. The intruder lowers his body, ears flattened, tail tucked, a universal sign of submission in the language of tigers. The resident male, in contrast, puffs up his body, arching his back and bristling his fur to appear even larger. He circles the challenger with slow, deliberate steps, his golden eyes never leaving the intruder's face. A silent, psychological siege. Sometimes the resident will unleash a low, rumbling growl, or deliver a warning nip. Never enough to injure, but more than enough to remind the challenger of the consequences of defiance. The real battle is fought in the mind, where confidence and intimidation are as potent as tooth and claw. Sensing the overwhelming presence of the resident, the intruder concedes. He turns away, melting back into the shadows of the forest, his pride wounded, but his life spared. The dominant male remains, surveying his reclaimed domain. He stands atop a mossy outcrop, the undisputed ruler of his realm, his senses attuned to every sound and scent that drifts through the ancient trees. In these silent, primal contests, the tiger's intelligence shines through. He knows that true mastery is not always proven in blood, but in the wisdom to win without fighting, a lesson written in the shadows of the forest where only the strongest and the smartest endure. Across the vast, sun-drenched plains of Africa, the air shimmers with heat and the grasses sway in a gentle breeze. Here, the zebra's world is a tapestry of golden light, shifting shadows, and ever-present danger. Every day, the savanna becomes a living arena where the ancient contest between predator and prey unfolds with breathtaking intensity. For zebras, survival depends on constant vigilance. Their large, sensitive ears swivel independently, picking up the faintest rustle in the grass. Their wide-set eyes scan the horizon, always alert for the subtle movement of a lioness melting into the tawny landscape. Even as they graze, their bodies remain tense, ready to bolt at the first sign of danger. Yet, zebras are not merely passive prey. They are bold social animals, moving in tightly knit herds that act as both shield and warning system. Each individual relies on the collective awareness of the group, and a single alarm call can send the entire herd surging into motion. Physically, zebras are built for both speed and power. Their muscular bodies, honed by years of evading predators, are capable of explosive acceleration and sudden, unpredictable turns. But their true strength lies in their ability to defend themselves with remarkable ferocity. The zebra's hind legs are its most formidable weapons. With a single lightning-fast kick, a zebra can shatter a predator's jaw or ribs. This defense is not just a last resort. It is a calculated, practiced maneuver, often delivered with pinpoint accuracy at the moment a predator lunges. Within the herd, these same powerful kicks are used in ritualized combat. Young bachelor males engage in fierce sparring matches, their hooves thundering against the earth as they test each other's strength and resolve. These battles are not only about dominance, but about learning the skills necessary for survival. At the heart of every herd stands a dominant stallion, his life devoted to the protection of his harem and their vulnerable foals. He is ever watchful, positioning himself between his family and any threat, ready to react with explosive force. When a lioness singles out a foal or a weak member, the stallion will not hesitate. He charges forward, using his size and aggression to disrupt the predator's attack, often placing himself directly in harm's way to buy precious seconds for his family to escape. In these tense standoffs, the zebra's courage is matched only by its tactical awareness. A cornered zebra will pivot to keep its hindquarters facing the threat, ready to unleash a devastating kick, while the rest of the herd forms a defensive circle around the young and the weak. The stallion's sheer mass, nearly half a ton, becomes a living barrier. He uses his body to block, intimidate, and if necessary, ram into predators, leveraging his weight and momentum to maximum effect. But the zebra's arsenal does not end with its hooves. Its jaws are lined with sharp, spade-shaped teeth, capable of inflicting deep, ragged wounds. In the chaos of a struggle, a zebra will bite with relentless force, targeting the soft underbelly or exposed limbs of its attacker. In the heat of battle, a zebra's determination can turn the tide. With a flurry of kicks and bites, it may break free from a lion's grasp, leaving the predator battered and the herd galvanized by the narrow escape. These same combat instincts are honed in the relentless contests between rival males. Fights erupt in clouds of dust with biting, kicking, and powerful shoves as each zebra strives to prove its dominance. Young bachelors, exiled from their natal herds, form loose groups where they spar daily. These mock battles are essential training, sharpening reflexes and building the confidence needed to one day challenge a reigning stallion. When the time comes, these confrontations escalate into violent clashes. The sound of hooves and teeth colliding echoes across the plains as each combatant risks injury for the chance to lead and protect a harem. The scars borne by a dominant stallion are badges of honor, each one a testament to battles fought and won. Only the most resilient and skilled males earn the right to stand at the head of a herd. In moments of challenge, the stallion responds with explosive aggression, launching airborne kicks that can send rivals sprawling. The impact of these blows is immense, often deciding the outcome in a single decisive moment. A well-placed strike can shatter a challenger's resolve, sending him fleeing into the grasslands, his dreams of dominance postponed for another day. Whether facing a lion or a rival, these battles are more than displays of strength. They are the crucible in which the future of the herd is forged. Each victory or defeat shapes the destiny of the next generation. When the dust settles and the threat recedes, the herd regroups, their bonds strengthened by shared adversity. A successful defense means not just survival, but the preservation of the family's unity and future. The strongest stallion leads, his authority unchallenged, his genes passed on to the next generation. In this way, the cycle of defense and dominance ensures that only the most capable protectors guide the herd through the perils of the savannah. The zebra's striking stripes, bold against the golden grass, are more than camouflage. They are a symbol of resilience. Through strength, strategy, and unbreakable spirit, the zebra endures as one of the savannah's most formidable and respected survivors. In the world of honeybees, the most intense and consequential battles are waged not by giants, but by creatures scarcely larger than a grain of rice. Here, beneath the golden wax of the hive, a drama unfolds that is as ancient as the species itself. The hive is a living superorganism, a city of tens of thousands, each bee performing its role with precision. Yet the entire fate of this bustling metropolis rests on the slender shoulders of a single fertile queen. The queen is the heart of the colony, her pheromones binding the workers in unity and purpose. Without her, order collapses, and chaos threatens the hive's survival. When the reigning queen grows old or her scent weakens, the colony senses the impending crisis. Worker bees become restless, their movements more urgent, as the hive's future hangs in the balance. In response, workers construct several large, peanut-shaped queen cells, each a cradle for a potential monarch. Inside, select larvae are fed a rich diet of royal jelly, transforming them into queens. But the hive can accept only one ruler. The first virgin queen to emerge is born into a world of rivals, her senses immediately attuned to the scent of her sisters. Her first moments are spent searching, antennae quivering for the telltale vibrations and pheromones of other queens, both living and unborn. The duel for dominance begins the instant she emerges, her instincts honed by millions of years of evolution. Driven by an unyielding urge, she patrols the comb, seeking out the sealed chambers of her yet unborn sisters. Using her highly sensitive antennae, she detects the faint chemical signatures that betray the presence of rivals. Her mission is clear: eliminate all threats to her reign. With powerful mandibles, she chews through the waxen walls, exposing the vulnerable pupae within. Her stinger, smooth and needle-like, is perfectly adapted for this grim task, delivering a lethal dose of venom to her defenseless sisters. Occasionally fate intervenes, and two queens emerge simultaneously. In these rare moments, the hive becomes a silent colosseum. The sisters, each driven by the same primal imperative, confront one another. Their bodies arch, wings vibrate, and jaws open in threat displays unique to their kind. Worker bees, loyal yet impartial, form a dense, living barrier around the combatants. They do not intervene, for the outcome must be decided by the queens alone. Unlike the barbed stingers of workers, which are a one-time weapon, the queen's stinger is smooth and can be used repeatedly, an evolutionary adaptation for these lethal duels. This stinger is not for defense against invaders, but a specialized tool for regicide, swift, precise, and deadly. The queens grapple, their legs entwined, mandibles snapping. Each attempts to maneuver the other, seeking the vulnerable membrane between the abdominal plates. Locked in a deadly embrace, they tumble across the comb, their struggle echoing through the hive in subtle vibrations felt by every bee. The decisive moment comes when one queen finds the soft, unarmored segment of her rival's abdomen. With a swift thrust, she delivers the fatal sting. The duel is swift, violent, and final. There is no mercy, no hesitation, only the relentless drive to rule. The victor wastes no time. Her reign is not yet secure. She resumes her search, methodically destroying any remaining queen cells, ensuring that no challenger survives to threaten her sovereignty. Only when every rival is vanquished does she leave the hive for her nuptial flight. High above the fields, she mates with a dozen or more drones, collecting the genetic legacy she will use to populate the colony. This ritual of violence, as fierce and unforgiving as any predator's hunt, is the crucible from which the colony's future is forged. The hive, once again united, resumes its tireless work under the guidance of its undisputed queen. Through this ancient, brutal contest, the honeybee colony secures its survival, guided by a single, victorious queen whose reign is both hard-won and absolute. As dawn breaks over the vast African savanna, the golden light reveals a landscape shaped by survival. Here, the lion reigns as the apex predator, its presence a living testament to power, strategy, and the relentless pursuit of prey. Lions are not solitary hunters. Instead, they rely on the intricate teamwork of the pride. Each member plays a role. Some circle wide to cut off escape routes, while others crouch low in the tall grass, using the undulating terrain and shifting winds to mask their approach. Communication is silent but precise. A flick of a tail, a subtle glance, a low growl. Among their most coveted and perilous targets is the Cape buffalo. These formidable herbivores graze in large herds, their senses finely tuned to danger, their bodies built for both endurance and defense. The moment a lion pride sets its sights on a buffalo, the stakes escalate. The buffalo's sheer size and unpredictable aggression mean that every hunt is a gamble, often resulting in injuries or even death for the lions. The Cape buffalo, often called the Widowmaker, is infamous for its defiance. When threatened, it does not flee blindly. Instead, it stands its ground, eyes blazing with determination, muscles tensed for action. The herd's defense is a masterclass in unity. At the first sign of attack, buffaloes bunch together, forming a living barricade. The strongest adults move to the perimeter, horns lowered, while calves and weaker members are shielded at the center. This wall of muscle and horn is nearly impenetrable. The lions, recognizing the risk, circle the herd, searching for any sign of weakness. A limping calf, an isolated adult, a momentary lapse in formation. Occasionally, a lion will attempt to single out a vulnerable buffalo, using bursts of speed and calculated feints. But when the herd responds as one, the predator's advantage quickly evaporates. Each buffalo is armed with a pair of sweeping horns, joined at the base by a dense, bony boss. This natural armor, sometimes over 2 inches thick, can absorb tremendous force, enough to turn aside a lion's bite or even a bullet. When the threat intensifies, the herd transforms. Grazers become guardians, forming a phalanx that bristles with horns, their bodies pressed together in a show of collective strength. With a thunderous bellow, the herd surges forward. Their charge is a coordinated assault, a tidal wave of fury and muscle that can scatter even the boldest lions. Yet, sometimes the lions' patience and precision pay off. In a rare moment, they manage to isolate a juvenile, their combined weight and jaws finally overcoming the buffalo's defenses. The pride's victory is brief. As they begin to feed, the air fills with the desperate calls of the fallen calf, a sound that electrifies the herd. Instantly, the herd wheels around, galvanized by the distress. Their response is swift and overwhelming, a full-scale counterattack, horns lowered, eyes blazing with vengeance. The hunters are now the hunted. The lions, caught off guard by the ferocity of the buffalo's charge, abandon their kill and flee for their lives. Panic erupts. The pride scatters in all directions, the ground trembling beneath the stampede of enraged buffalo. One lioness, slower than the rest, finds herself cut off from her pride, the gap between her and safety closing rapidly. She scrambles onto a small rock outcrop now encircled by a sea of furious buffalo. The herd's tactics shift from defense to siege, their movements coordinated and relentless. Again and again buffaloes lunge upward, their horns slashing at the exposed lioness. Each attack is a calculated attempt to dislodge her, to punish the predator for her audacity. The standoff is tense and terrifying. The lioness, cornered and exhausted, swipes desperately at the horns, her every move a gamble between survival and defeat. For endless minutes she dodges and parries, narrowly evading the lethal points of the buffalo's horns. The herd's persistence is unyielding, their anger undiminished. This is the true power of the Cape buffalo, not just in individual strength, but in the unity and resolve of the herd. Their collective fury is a force of nature, a reminder that the balance between predator and prey is ever shifting. At last, a brief distraction ripples through the herd, a momentary gap in their formation. The lioness, battered but alert, seizes her only chance. With a powerful leap, she escapes the encirclement, vanishing into the bush as the buffalo thunder after her, their anger echoing across the plains. In the end, the savannah returns to uneasy calm. The lions, chastened, watch from a distance as the buffalo regroup. Here, in this ancient arena, every encounter is a test of tactics, strength, and the unbreakable will to survive. Across the vast tapestry of our planet, every sunrise signals the beginning of countless silent wars, epic showdowns that are far more than mere spectacles of violence. These are the living lessons of nature, where every encounter is a testament to the intricate mechanics of survival, adaptation, and the relentless drive to endure. Consider the crocodile, lurking motionless beneath the water's surface, a master of patience and explosive power, or the wild dog pack, whose success depends on flawless coordination and relentless stamina. Each predator and prey interaction is a showcase of unique strategies, honed by millennia of evolution and shaped by the demands of their environment. For the gazelle, survival is a ballet of speed and agility, weaving through the grasslands with split-second decisions that mean the difference between life and death. The smallest creatures, often overlooked, employ camouflage, mimicry, and even chemical defenses to outwit their pursuers. Intelligence and cooperation are powerful tools. Meerkats post sentinels to warn of danger, while flocks of birds twist and turn in perfect unison, confusing would-be attackers. Some animals, like crows and otters, wield tools to access food or defend themselves, demonstrating that wit can rival brute strength. Even the most unassuming creatures possess remarkable defenses. A zebra's kick can shatter a predator's jaw, while honeybees, in a desperate struggle, will sacrifice themselves to protect the hive. Each act is driven by the primal urge to survive and ensure the continuation of their lineage. Every confrontation is a delicate calculation of risk and reward. Animals weigh the cost of injury against the necessity of a meal or the defense of territory. Sometimes a standoff is resolved without violence, as both parties recognize the dangers of escalation. The tiger, for all its raw power, often relies on intimidation, an earth-shaking roar or a menacing display, to avoid unnecessary conflict. In the wild, wisdom is knowing when to fight and when to walk away. This restraint is a form of strength, a recognition that survival sometimes means yielding ground today to fight another day. In the open plains, unity becomes a shield. The Cape buffalo herd forms an impenetrable wall, each individual's safety bound to the collective. Their synchronized movements and unwavering solidarity can turn the tide against even the most formidable predators. When threatened, the herd transforms into a force of nature, stampeding as one to drive off lions and protect their young. Alone they are vulnerable, together they are nearly invincible. Social bonds are the glue of survival. Elephants encircle their calves, shielding them from danger, while primates groom and comfort one another, reinforcing alliances that can mean the difference between life and death. The arsenal of nature is as varied as it is ingenious. Claws, fangs, horns, and armored hides are not mere accidents. They are the result of relentless adaptation, each feature a response to the challenges of the environment. The bison's muscular hump stores energy for long migrations. The crocodile's scales deflect attacks, and the queen bee's stinger is a weapon of last resort, each trait a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. These adaptations are not just for offense or defense. They are tools for survival, for asserting dominance, for ensuring that only the fittest pass on their genes. The interplay of physical prowess and instinctive behavior weaves a complex web, where every animal, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, plays a vital role in the ongoing drama of life. The environment itself shapes these battles. In the open savanna, speed is king. In dense forests, stealth and ambush reign supreme. Each landscape demands its own set of skills, pushing animals to the very edge of their abilities. Scars and wounds are badges of survival, evidence of the high stakes and the unforgiving nature of these encounters. Nature's stage is set by the elements. Misty mornings, torrential rains, and blistering heat all influence the outcome of every battle, testing the limits of endurance and adaptability. Hunger is a constant companion, driving predators to stalk with relentless focus and prey, to remain ever vigilant, their senses sharpened by necessity. In every determined gaze, in every desperate leap, we witness the ingenuity and courage that define the animal kingdom. From the first trembling steps of a newborn to the seasoned survivor braving the harshest elements, the will to live is an unyielding force, shaping every creature's journey. These showdowns are not merely tales of conflict. They are the very heartbeat of the wild, a living testament to the beauty, complexity, and raw reality of life on Earth. High in the remote, wind-swept peaks of the Himalayas, where jagged cliffs slice through clouds and icy winds carve the silence, a ghost stalks the shadows. The snow leopard, rarely seen, almost never heard, embodies the pinnacle of stealth and patience. Clad in a coat dappled with rosettes, it moves like mist across the rock face, perfectly camouflaged against the granite and snow. Every hunt begins with a meticulous survey of the terrain. The snow leopard's pale, piercing eyes scan the landscape, noting every movement of blue sheep, Himalayan tahr, or unsuspecting marmot. Its broad, fur-padded paws distribute its weight, allowing it to pad silently across loose scree and treacherous ice, each step chosen with care to avoid triggering an avalanche or revealing its presence. Hunting in this vertical world demands more than brute force. It requires strategy, patience, and a profound understanding of the mountains. The snow leopard will sometimes watch a herd for hours, even days, learning their rhythms, waiting for a moment of weakness or distraction. When the time comes, it positions itself above its prey, using the dizzying elevation to its advantage. The attack is a masterclass in precision. With a sudden, controlled burst of power, the snow leopard launches itself down impossibly steep slopes, its long tail whipping behind to maintain balance. It can leap up to 50 feet in a single bound, enough to close the gap in a heartbeat. The element of surprise is its greatest weapon, and the first touch is often the last. Even when the chase spills over sheer cliffs and across icy ravines, the snow leopard's agility is unmatched. Its muscular limbs and flexible spine absorb the impact of the descent, while its claws grip the rock like grappling hooks. In these moments, failure means hunger, and hunger in this harsh world means death. Once the hunt is done, the snow leopard drags its prize to a secluded ledge, away from scavengers and the ever-present threat of the elements. Here, it will feed in solitude, replenishing its strength for the next silent stalk, the next calculated ambush. The snow leopard's existence is a delicate balance of risk and reward, a daily testament to the ingenuity required to survive in one of the planet's most unforgiving habitats. Its every movement is shaped by the mountains, by the thin air, the biting cold, and the endless expanse of stone and snow. In this frozen kingdom, the snow leopard reigns unseen, a living legend written into the rocks and shadows of the Himalayas. In the pitch-black depths of the world's oceans, far below the reach of sunlight, a silent war rages between two of Earth's most enigmatic giants. Here, at depths plunging over 1,000 meters, the colossal sperm whale and the elusive giant squid become locked in a battle as ancient as the sea itself. The environment is alien, a realm of crushing pressure and perpetual night. Bioluminescent flashes flicker in the water, illuminating ghostly outlines of drifting jellyfish and the occasional flick of a distant fin. It is in this abyss that the sperm whale descends, guided by its sophisticated echolocation, an internal sonar system so powerful it can map the seafloor and sense the faintest movement of prey. The giant squid, with eyes as large as dinner plates, detects subtle vibrations in the water. Its long, sinuous tentacles drift in the darkness, each lined with rows of sharp, serrated suckers. It, too, is a master of its domain, a predator built for stealth and ambush. But in this undersea world, the hunter can quickly become the hunted. The confrontation starts with a rush of movement. The sperm whale, weighing up to 50 tons, emits a series of rapid clicks to zero in on its quarry. The squid, sensing the approach, launches a cloud of ink, a rare defensive tactic at these depths, but one that can momentarily confuse its massive pursuer. The whale surges forward, jaws agape, exposing a mouth lined with conical teeth. Tentacles flare, curling and lashing as the squid attempts to evade capture. Some wrap around the whale's head, leaving circular scars, a testament to past encounters. The struggle is silent, save for the thunderous beat of hearts and the ripple of water displaced by titanic bodies. The whale's immense strength is pitted against the squid's agility and speed. It becomes a contest of endurance, each combatant adapted for this singular purpose, survival in the abyss. Sometimes the whale triumphs, dragging the battered squid upwards to feed and nourish its pod. Other times the squid escapes, trailing wounds yet living to haunt the depths again. Each encounter leaves its mark, scarred skin, broken tentacles, a story written in the flesh of these deep-sea warriors. In this eternal twilight, where pressure and darkness reign, the battle between giant squid and sperm whale shapes the very fabric of life. These silent duels remain largely unseen by human eyes, yet they are a reminder that even in the planet's most mysterious corners, the struggle for survival endures, relentless, raw, and magnificent. In the dappled twilight of the forest floor, where shadows stretch long and the undergrowth whispers with hidden movement, a solitary figure ambles with deliberate confidence. This is the porcupine, nature's living fortress, clad in an arsenal of quills that bristle with both beauty and danger. The air is thick with the scent of earth and decaying leaves, punctuated by the distant calls of nightbirds. A lynx, silent as moonlight, stalks through the brush, muscles coiled and eyes fixed on its intended prey. Yet the porcupine seems undisturbed, moving unhurriedly as it forages for tender shoots and fallen fruit. Its defense is not speed, but preparation. As the threat draws near, the porcupine halts, sensing the predator's intent. It arches its back, quills fanning out in a halo of sharp, gleaming spines. Each quill is a marvel, barbed at the tip, hollow and lightweight, designed to detach and embed in the flesh of any attacker. The porcupine emits a low, rattling chatter, a final warning carried on the still night air. The lynx lunges, but the porcupine pivots, presenting its fortified rear. The predator hesitates, calculating the risk. In a flash of movement, the lynx swipes, only to recoil as quills drive deep into its paw. The pain is immediate, the lesson unforgettable. The porcupine holds its ground, quills swaying with every measured step, its body language a blend of caution and unwavering resolve. In this quiet standoff, the forest bears witness to a masterclass in defense. The porcupine's strategy is not to fight, but to deter, turning vulnerability into invincibility. As the lynx retreats, licking its wounds, the porcupine resumes its solitary journey, a silent victor in the eternal chess match of predator and prey. Here, beneath the ancient trees and the watchful eyes of the forest, the porcupine's quilled armor is more than a shield. It is a testament to the ingenuity of survival, forged by the relentless pressure of those who would test its defenses. In every bristle and every cautious step, the story of armored defiance endures. As dawn breaks over the tawny grasslands, shadows melt into the golden light, and a chorus of distant calls resonates across the savannah. In this vast theatre of survival, the spotted hyena clan emerges, an assembly of cunning minds and formidable jaws, bound together by invisible threads of dominance and alliance. Within the clan, order is everything. Power does not flow from brute strength alone, but from a labyrinth of relationships, rituals, and relentless ambition. At the center stands the matriarch, a seasoned female, her status carved through years of calculated challenge and unwavering resolve. Around her, daughters inherit privilege, towering above even the most robust males in rank. Each gesture, from a lifted muzzle to a submissive bow, is a piece of the intricate language that governs this society. The morning's first hunt is not just a quest for food, but a stage for power plays. Subordinates flank the matriarch, eyes flickering with anticipation and caution. A low-ranking female slinks at the periphery, ever watchful for a chance to snatch a discarded morsel or curry favor with a higher peer. Tensions simmer as bodies press close over a fresh kill, snarls erupt, jaws snap, and the pecking order is enforced with every bite. It is a world where loyalty and rivalry entwine. Allies are forged in play and reinforced in adulthood as coalitions plot subtle coups and test the matriarch's patience. Even cubs, still draped in the softness of youth, are embroiled in the hierarchy, fighting for access to milk, their fates shaped by lineage and the shifting winds of favoritism. As the sun climbs, the clan retreats to a shaded den, a labyrinth of tunnels and chambers carved deep into the earth. Here the social web tightens, with grooming sessions and vocal exchanges echoing through the darkness. Laughter-like cackles and eerie whoops signal not joy, but assertion and intent. In the world of the spotted hyena, every day is a crucible of ambition and adaptation. Power is never given, only taken and defended in a ballet of intelligence and instinct. The clan endures not in spite of its struggles, but because of them, each contest a thread in the tapestry of survival that stretches across the endless plains. Across the parched plains of the Serengeti, a distant rumble stirs the horizon, a living tide of wildebeest, numbering in the thousands, driven by instinct and the promise of rain. The air hums with anticipation as dust clouds billow from countless hooves, masking the sun in a copper haze. This is the Great Migration, an epic odyssey that defines survival on a scale few other creatures dare attempt. At the river's edge, the herd hesitates. The Mara River, swollen by recent storms, churns with hidden danger. The surface glitters deceptively, but beneath lurk ancient predators. Nile crocodiles, motionless and patient, eyes just breaking the waterline. The wildebeest crowd together, their bodies pressed flank to flank. trembling with a primal calculus. To cross is perilous, but to linger is to risk starvation and exhaustion. Suddenly, one bold calf leaps, hooves splashing into the current. In an instant, the dam breaks. A torrent of life surges forward. Mothers, calves, and seasoned bulls plunging into the chaos. The water explodes in froth and panic as crocodiles strike with lightning speed, jaws snapping shut with bone-crushing force. The river becomes a maelstrom of struggle. Wildebeest thrash and scramble, desperate to reach the far bank, while predators exploit every moment of panic. Yet, for every loss, there is resilience. Some wildebeest, battered and gasping, claw their way ashore, coats slick with mud and fear. Others, swept downstream, find shallows and regroup, their eyes wide with the memory of terror. The survivors stand, breathless and battered, on new grass, victorious, if only for a moment, in the oldest contest of all. As the sun dips low and the river quiets, the migration moves onward, driven by hunger, hope, and the unbreakable will to endure. In this relentless journey, every crossing is a crucible, and every survivor is a testament to nature's indomitable spirit.